Hello, fellow artist. If you found your way to this video, it is a sign that it is time to embark on your next creative endeavor. Whether it's planning a new painting, diving into a new project, or exploring fresh ideas. So let's dedicate this hour to focus, create, and bring our visions to life. Let's establish a goal for ourselves. My objective for this session is to brainstorm and create numerous thumbnails to explore various compositions and color schemes for the paintings in my upcoming project. As we move forward, I will guide you through brainstorming and concept development, sketching techniques, and goal setting and timeline planning. In a way, this means creating deadlines for ourselves. To start off, let's talk about the importance of brainstorming. For one, it stimulates creativity. Through brainstorming sessions, you start to unleash your artistic vision. You can start experimenting with different approaches, cultivate a sense of curiosity and exploration, which ends up fueling that passion for painting, and it motivates you to push your boundaries of where you are as an artist, just trying to push a little bit every time that you sit down to sketch or brainstorm or just brain dump ideas is a great way to expand your creativity, to expand your skill, and progressively get better as an artist. It's perfect to get the ball rolling. The second reason why brainstorming is important is that it establishes a direction for you. Brainstorming ideas and themes can help you by identifying the key concepts or motives and/or narratives that resonate with you and with me. So this way, you engage in thoughtful discussions with yourself and you start creating a purpose to the series, guiding and shaping the content of your paintings. This way, you can create a cohesive and compelling narrative thread that ties all the paintings together, which ensures a sense of continuity, coherence, and can communicate a powerful message and/or an emotion. The third point I want to make in terms of why brainstorming is important is because it starts cultivating a meaningful connection, both with yourself and with whoever sees your work. It encourages you to explore your personal experiences, emotions, and perspectives that informs your creative expression. By delving into meaningful themes and concepts that holds significance to you or to me, the artist will infuse that oil painting or that oil painting series with so much authenticity of themselves and an emotional resonance with whoever sees it. So you'll end up cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself in your artistic voice, in the stories that you want to say through your paintings, which will forge a strong bond between you and your process and your work, which is what resonates with the viewer. If you haven't yet, I recommend taking a few moments to gather visual inspiration for this session. You can explore websites like ArtStation, Pinterest, or Google Images, or even refer to your favorite artist books. Save these images in a folder or any preferred location for easy access during our session. I prefer to organize my boards in PureRef, which recently received an update, and it's so good. You can download it for free by entering $0 in the donation box, Sarah PureRef. Alternatively, you can show your appreciation for their fantastic work by contributing any amount you choose. This is not a sponsored recommendation, of course. And now you can create a mood board or inspiration board. When you want to develop your concepts, you can explore different approaches, different styles and subject matters for your painting series. You have all free range in the world to let loose right now, so you have no pressure whatsoever and you can play around. This can involve experimenting with color schemes, composition techniques, or narrative storytelling elements to refine your ideas, and clarifying the overarching theme of your series. This will be important to refine your artistic vision, establish a cohesive narrative thread, and create a sense of continuity and coherence across your oil paintings, ensuring a harmonious series. In my case, I'm experimenting with combining blues and yellows, reds, purple schemes. I don't have the full picture yet, so I want to explore as many as I can, see if I find the right mood, with the occasional outlier. In regards to style, I'm envisioning these paintings to be overall sfumato with some detail in the most important areas, which I'm not so sure I'm going to be able to pull it off yet, but we shall see. Let's get into the sketching techniques now. If you don't know where to start, here are some to consider. The first one, which is the one that I'm doing, is thumbnail sketching. It quickly captures my ideas and my compositions and the general layout. I create a small and quick sketch to experiment with the different layouts on the potential ratio of the canvas. So every thumbnail reflects what the canvas will look like, but in a smaller version of it. So focus on the big shapes and the overall composition rather than the details. With these thumbnail sketches, if you want, you can focus on it as a value study. Focus on where the light and the dark areas are or how they are distributed. You can use pencil, charcoal. I'm using soft pastels. Later on, if we're not there yet, I end up using pencil, but that's mostly as a way to refine the sketch. So with the colors, I'm using light and darker shades of color. I'm using brown to darken. I'm using white to lighten. So I can emphasize where the light is, where some of the midtones could be, and the darker ones, especially when I want my main subject to stand out. So try to create multiple sketches like this to explore the different lighting scenarios that you would like in your painting or your painting series. You can also try and define the outlines and major shapes without shading. So this means wherever the shadows are, you outline them, and that creates the form of it without going into detail. You're simply focusing on the shadow portions, if that makes any sense. You can also explore gesture drawing for your painting if you're doing anatomy or even nature subjects or anything really, because you can capture the movement and the flow of a subject. Create quick and expressive lines to convey the action or the emotion or the shape of whatever you're drawing. So you can use this technique to bring some dynamism into your figures or landscapes. So if you want to solely focus on the composition, such as I am with the thumbnails, the point of this is to arrange the elements of the painting. I experiment with the placement of the subjects, the background, and the foreground elements, and I constantly create iterations of such elements and compositions to figure out which one I like better, which one makes more sense for the concept, the story, the narrative, sometimes using the rule of thirds or leading lines, or you can use other compositional principles that you may know about, or simply research them. Another one would be color studies, which is also what I'm doing with the soft pastels. I'm trying to capture the mood. I'm trying to figure out and explore different color schemes and harmonies, as I mentioned earlier. So I create small and simple sketches to test the different color combinations and how I would like them to relate to one another or contrast one another. So you can also create detailed studies and focus on the specific parts of a subject you don't really know how to render. And for myself, that was the spider, how the body of the female would transition between the spider abdomen and the abdomen of my subject. You can draw the detailed sketches of the important features or textures, whatever you need, if that's something that you need to explore. And you can use these as a reference when you're painting the final piece. As well, you can use a photo reference in combination with the sketch that you had done previously so that you know how you want to execute it. You can also do negative space sketches to understand the space around your main subject. So you create a very clear silhouette of what's happening so that it is readable and it stands out properly. So this can help improve your accuracy of placement or proportions or whatever it may be, and your composition. You can also mix in some media in your sketches. You can combine different mediums to explore textures or different effects. So you can use pencil, ink, watercolor. What I did was mix in some watercolor first, and once that dried, I applied the soft pastel on top. You can experiment with layering, which is what I did, and perhaps some blending techniques or just explore how they combine, etc. Some tips here: just keep a sketchbook and regularly sketch or jot down ideas that come up. Maybe you can keep making iterations of that, and maybe your ideas just become really fleshed out and you have a very clear vision of where you want to take your painting. Definitely use reference material, either collect like photos, maybe objects or scenes that inspire you, perhaps movie shots. Practice regularly. That doesn't necessarily mean every day, but certainly keep it a consistent practice of sketching. This will definitely improve your skill and creativity. It will just keep you in that creative flow. And as a final tip, just keep reviewing your sketches critically and make necessary adjustments when you go back to them if you see that anything could be better. So as we sketch, just pay attention to the lines, if you're making any, the shapes, the values that are defining our composition. Keep experimenting with different techniques to really find what's working best for you. And keep making adjustments as you go. It's okay. This is free creativity flow playtime, basically. So just keep going. Let's finally get into goal setting and the timeline planning. Before we get fully into breaking everything down, let's talk about the significance, why it's so important to set goals. So there are many reasons, and a lot of these will be perhaps obvious. However, our artistic minds can play games on us or become depressed. So let's get into it. Clear goals will provide a sense of direction. It will also provide consistency to your whole process, routine. It ensures that each painting aligns with the overall concept and style of the series, creating a cohesive body of work. It will also provide motivation. Having specific targets to achieve will keep you motivated. Each little goal or milestone that you take off that list that you need to get through, it will be a milestone that has been completed that will bring you closer to completing the entire series or painting. So being close to the finish line will keep you motivated. Knowing how much is left or how much you need to do, knowing how much you've done already, it will keep you motivated. All supposedly with the ups and downs and everything, but generally speaking, this is the type of motivation I think is the quote unquote correct one. The fourth point that I want to make is it will help you with your time management. Timelines help you, goals help you manage your time effectively, or at least more effectively. This has happened to me. I'm really bad at time management, and every time I decide to keep a consistent schedule, or every time I set goals for the day and for the week, I try my best to achieve those goals. If things go a little slow, not as efficiently as I was hoping for, there's a setback, others things that happen in life, then I'll be flexible enough to change it or to adjust the goal for the week. But either way, it does help with time management. It ensures that you can allocate enough time for each stage of the painting process, from, the very initial sketches or research to the final touches. Setting goals will also allow you to track your progress and reflect on your own growth as an artist, but you need to be aware of these things. You need to go back and reflect. You need to see what's working. You need to see what's not working. If you're the type of artist that is aiming to exhibit or sell your work, adhering to deadlines demonstrates professionalism and reliability, which is essential for building a reputable career. And here we are in this session, trying our best to maintain a good painting process, timeline, everything. And the last point I want to make is that setting goals and keeping a timeline or having a roadmap will help you balance your workload, which in turn will prevent the burnout and will allow a more sustainable creative process. So this means you're setting very clear goals and very realistic timelines. If you know you're a slow painter, don't try to make yourself a fast painter. You're going to burn out quickly. If you're a slow painter like me, set yourself realistic goals. And if you see that you're getting in a flow and you're able to speed it up a little bit, try it out for a week and see how it goes. And if you see that you're getting close to that really tired phase, draw it back a little bit and get back to your usual speed. So you'll be able to maintain that momentum by doing all of this. It will also ensure consistency, and you'll be able to achieve a high quality series or a high quality painting that reflects you as an artist, or your vision and your entire dedication, your soul poured into that painting. Okay, so now let's talk about the timeline and the deadline portion of this video. I'm gonna quickly gloss over it so that I can actually put a breakdown and roadmap on the screen. So let's break everything down into manageable tasks. Number 1, concept development. Number 2, planning and sketching. Number 3, preparing your canvases or buying them. Number 4, the underpainting. Number 5, layering and detailing. Number 6, final touches. The polishing stage and the final touching stages, it can pretty much go on until eternity. And number 7, evaluation and reflection. You take your time, evaluate and consider what you've learned and how you've progressed. And if you can, seek feedback from others to gain different perspectives on your work. I'm also going to include on the screen some tips to prioritizing the tasks or allocating time and adjusting the timeline. Prioritizing tasks, we have the identifying the key tasks, setting clear objectives, using a priority matrix, meaning what is of maximum priority and what is not. Number 4, we're breaking down the complex tasks. And number 5, we're doing daily priorities. What do you want to focus on that day before moving on to other ones? When you're allocating time for each stage, you're creating a schedule, you're setting time limits, you're establishing a routine, you're including unexpected delays or things that may take longer than expected. And number 5, remember to take breaks and rest. So on the screen, I'm going to split it into two, the two timelines, an initial ideal timeline, and then on the second half of the screen, I'm going to include an adjusted timeline so we can get a visual reference of what a timeline could look like. So I'm also going to include on the screen the roadmap, just in case, including the milestones which are part of the roadmap. And now that we're on the break, take some time to stretch, take some time to look at the timelines and roadmaps, look at your own sketches, analyze them, take notes on what you've done right or what you need to improve on to move forward. And once the 5 minutes are up, we're going to continue working, but we're going to do it without me talking at all. So you'll be able to fully focus if you want. I'll have some music, and if not, you can put on your own. And I'll see you at the very end, where I will put on the screen a summary of everything I talked about in this video, and happy painting. Or I guess happy sketching, whatever you're doing.